Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Enterprise Chat here at MSME Africa. This is where we do all the talking relating to businesses, entrepreneurship across Nigeria and all over Africa. Yes, we have an amazing conversation to have at the moment, looking at what's going on in the society. Recently, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Business Facilitation or Miscellaneous Provision Bill 2022, which is also known as the Omnibus Bill, into law. And now the development marks an important step in the delivery of an environment suitable for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in Nigeria. Joining me to discuss the importance of this bill to the business sector is Paul Adeyinka. He's the founder and CEO of Adeyinka Vine Limited, which is a startup agro processing operating in the oil palm value chain. Good to have you on the conversation this morning.
Thank you, Emily. Good to be here too. And well done, MSME Africa, for the great job you're doing for the MSME community. Well done. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for appreciating us. Let's talk about Adeyinka Vine Limited. I mean, what's this about, really?
Okay, basically, Adeyinka Vines Limited is in the oil palm value chain in Nigeria. And currently, what we do is we produce crude palm kernel oil and palm kernel cake. We do that by extracting that oil from palm kernel nuts. And basically what we produce, which is the good palm kernel oil and palm kernel cake, serves as raw materials for production of edible vegetable oil. We don't do the production of the vegetable oil, but we just sell our products to companies that would produce the vegetable oil. We went into this particular value chain basically because currently in Nigeria, there is a shortfall in supply of oils, of edible oil presently. There's a lot of importation of this oil and all that, and we have the raw material, we have the resources here. So we are hoping that one day Nigeria will not have to.
And let's talk about this Business Facilitation Act, or what you call the Omnibus Bill, that the president recently signed.
Okay, so the Business Facilitation Act is like a legislative intervention by PEBEC. Now, PEBEC is the Presidential Enabling Business Environmental Council. Now, this council was actually set up in 2016 by President Muhammadu Buhari just after they came into power, and it is chaired by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN. Now, this act basically is they amended 21 business-related laws. So we have business-related laws in the CAMA 2020. We have business-related laws in the Customs Act, in different. So they kind of brought all these, they amended these laws. So instead of amending CAMA 2021, amending Customs law, they just brought all the business-related laws under one window, right? And so that it will enhance trade facilitation.
You noted that the bill seeks to remove bureaucracies, the constraints, and aid ease of doing business. But what are those specific concerns that the bill seeks to address?
Okay, so let me just give a little breakdown about the PEBEC and what they've been doing in the last 7 years. Now, this particular act is like a parting, some call it a parting gift from the government, that is the Buhari government-led government, for it to come in at this time. And it's really a good one for the for MSMEs. Reason being that you realize there was a time in Nigeria for when business registrations were was being done at about 5,000 naira, you know, so that they brought down the amount so that more people can be able to register businesses. This was all the work of PEBEC, and you know they've been trying to make sure that to ease work. So now they've legislated all these things to ensure that it's now a law for these things to happen. Not a law for the fee to be reduced, but doing a lot of work on the ground that to enable businesses to be able to ease of doing business. And you will see that Nigeria, when this particular government came in, ease of doing business ranking in Nigeria was at 170, That was in 2015. Now it's our ranking is about 131. So it shows that those guys are actually doing something to ease business, doing business in Nigeria. So looking at the specifics, so there are a lot of things that this particular law tries to do. One of them is that now it's a legal requirement for company incorporations and business registrations to be done within 48 hours. It's a legal requirement. And you will realize that the CAC portal now has been automated. A lot of things have been automated. This was as a result of the work that PEBEC, one of some of the reasons of work that PEBEC was doing. And it's now a legal requirement also to have visas on arrival for tourist and business-related visas or any type of ordinary visa within 48 hours. So for those MSMEs who are into the tourist industry into that area, so you understand that doing business for them is going to be much easier. And also, like I said, the first one I said talked about incorporation within 48 hours. It's also going to be easier to register your business. So you are sure that if you start registering your business today and you have all the documents required of you, within the next 48 hours, you have everything ready. Also, all MDAs, that is ministries, departments, and agencies, have now been required to do some sort of digitalization and automation, right? You know, if you go to an average ministry or department in Nigeria, everything is so it's paper and viral. Everything is, it's so archaic. So now they are required to do some sort of digitalization. They are required to at least automate their processes such that when businesses or MSMEs are dealing with them, everything is easier. You know what you are meant to do. There's no need to be carrying paper and files up and down. Now, so the other thing also is that they have been, this law requires that these MDAs kind of publish some sort of SLAs. That is, either majorly on their websites, they have a website and they publish these things. Now, what happens is that, most MDAs in Nigeria, you really don't know what to expect of them. You don't know what document to expect of, basically, because some of these things are not documented or published, and this gives rooms for touting and all that. So now they are expected to publish their SLAs, their timelines, on this website, on their site. Yes.
Sorry, what do you mean by SLAs for those who might not
service level agreements. That is, you come to, so what is expected of us as an MDA or as a ministry or as a department or as an agency? This is what is expected of us. This is what we are meant to deliver. And they have timelines to those SLAs. Now, the law now states that if they don't, for instance, you're going for an approval, so they should have stated it that if you're coming for an approval for this and this, implementing them is the major, has been the major challenge. So we only hope that either the government or the puts a sort of a force or something in place to ensure that these laws are actually implemented. Because if they are implemented, it will be a good one for general.
So I'm staying hopeful too, like you are. And while you were responding, yes, I know you talked about transparency in the system, talked about saving time and all of that, easier and faster way to do things, to get businesses registered, digitalization and all of that. Then you also talked about investor confidence, which I think is really very important. So do you think the passage of this bill, how really do you think the passage of this bill will help in terms of promoting and attracting investments in the country, either local direct investment or FDIs, I mean foreign direct investments?
Good. So for instance, now an investor wants to come into the country to actually have a feel of the country or see what is happening in the country. And he knows that, okay, if I get here within 48 hours as stipulated by this law, I will get my tourist visa or has more confidence in coming into the country. He's not afraid of coming to the country. Also coming to the country, knowing fully well that he will not be harassed by touts in the port authorities. He knows that, okay, fine, all those things has come to an end in Nigeria. Also, for an investor coming to the country, or probably they might not even need to come into the country. They can just go
Can
to
be raised locally, even.
Yeah, you said?
They can be raised locally.
Yes, locally, exactly. So you can even go to the website. You don't know that you don't need to go to the offices of all these for anything you need to do at your house or wherever it is you are. You can go to the website of all these ministries, of these MDAs, of these government agencies. You can go to their website. You can see what is expected of you as you are bringing in your money. You can see what is expected of you. So all those things, all those bureaucracies has been cut off. So in that manner, in that way, you know that when you bring in your money, when you're taking it out of the country, you're not afraid of taking out the money out of the country. So some sorts, there'll be confidence. Investors will be more confident into bringing their money into businesses, into organizations in Nigeria, and there'll be more, at least. So such way, you have more foreign direct investment into the country. Businesses in Nigeria, SMEs are able to do businesses better. It also has to do with exportation. For those of us who want to go into exportation, you see that things are easier done. There's a part of that law that talks about specific for those of us who are into the agricultural sector, in the port authorities, either the seaport or the airport. There has been, for those who want to go into export, they are designated is it law or areas for agricultural export. So such ways, when you are at rest, that the challenge we have usually in Nigeria is that the government can just wake up one day, bring up one policy, and you scatter and your business is gone because of the particular policy that they've brought in. But when you're at rest, that you can sue the government if they decide to do any of such things because of this law that have already been enacted. It gives you more peace of mind to be able to do business either externally or internally within the country.
So if I have to hang on to what you just said now, because in a few days' time, we're heading to the polls, and in a few months' time, Nigeria is going to have a change of administration. What do you want? What do you expect for whoever that might be taking over to do in terms of business, ease of doing business, probably even acting upon some of the plans that this government is going to leave behind?
So whoever comes in now, whoever comes in as the president right now, already has something to work with, a document to work with when it comes to doing business in Nigeria, as in ease of doing business in Nigeria. So those laws have been enacted, and now at least they help to remove bureaucracies and all that. So we expect that the government coming in will be able to ensure implementation, because that is actually, it's not just to have a law, but to ensure adequate implementation of these laws. That it's not just going to be sitting down there and these agencies are actually followed up with and ensure that these things are actually implemented. I think the other aspect that we also have to look at too is security. That whoever government is coming in now must be able to ensure adequate security, because Nigeria seems to be, divided along these insecurity issues and all that. So any government coming in now want to be able to, because yes, you have the law has been enacted as that ease of doing business, but when it comes to security, people still are not sure if I come in, am I still safe? So to complement this particular law that has been written, any government coming in now should be able to ensure that there's adequate security for lives and properties, and I can travel to the north easily. I can, like, for instance, now there's a particular so there's some products in agriculture that you can't get them in the southwest or in the south or southeast.
Yes, you have to source them from the north.
Yeah, you source them from the north. Now, personally, people are asking me for some products, and I know they are from the north. People are ready to put down money for this product, but I can't travel. I can't even tell my wife that now I want to go to Kaduna, Kogi, or wherever to go and get these things. She would not allow me. And nobody, even me myself, I don't think
I will allow you to. That was a joke anyway.
So that's it. So insecurity is an issue that we hope that the government company will be able to help us tackle.
All right. I mean, hopefully, all of these issues will be addressed, and particularly because we're having a new government coming into the administration pretty
Yeah,
soon. And that's why we're saying everybody, 25th of February, just a few days from now, head to the
yeah,
polls and vote
yeah.
the right person that you know is able to do the job. Thank you so much, Paul Adeyinka, founder
Thank
and
you.
CEO of Adeyinka Vine Limited, which is a startup agro-processing operating in the oil palm value chain. Thank you for joining the conversation this morning.
Thank you, Aramide, and thank you, MSME Africa, for having me. I'm very grateful.
All right, this is where we draw the curtains on the conversation enterprise chat here at MSME Africa. I am Aranimi. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget, you can connect with us on our social media platform on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at MSME Africa. Until next time, we'll see you again. Bye-bye.